Hello, hello, hello. Let's talk some chart setups and options trades for the week. We have had already a very interesting Monday coming off the back of a pretty strong week into last week. As we talked about on the last couple of streams, tech earnings was going to drive the majority of the focus of money flow in and out for the rest of this quarter. I mean, we're used to the holiday season being boomtown. We're used to money flowing in, flowing in, flowing in, especially on the tech and retail fronts. And this winter has been really no exception. To the degree that we wanted, maybe not, but we've had some great trades, some great setups coming off the back of some huge money making trades. NVDA, AMD, to name a few. Coinbase recently just blew up. Breakout. We have absolutely crushed on these last couple of trades. If you don't have those, I'm going to be posting that info in here to get you access to the Discord. So you have access to those trades. No new high in Coinbase, absolute boomer. Hell of a trade. So as always, if you guys are new, please type new in the chat so that we know who you are. We're going to give away some free stuff, give you access to the watch list, all of which is free. Don't want a dollar from you, don't want anything. Just put your email in and you'll get it. For those of you that have been with us a while, please type your Discord name in the chat so I know who's here and who I should love more. And we're going to give away a little bit of swag at the end. I know, Nikki, I know you're here. I want to pop a T-shirt to someone lucky once we get into the Smash or Pass segment. We're going to keep this brief, keep it tight. We're going to focus on the things that matter and get you set up so that you know everything that you need to know for this week to make money in the market. If you guys, again, are new to our live streams, Discords, whatever, drop your name in the chat or just type new if you're new. So if you've been with us, type your name. If you're new, type new. Start thinking right now. I want everyone in the back of their mind to start thinking of stock tickers you want to dive into. Ray, nice to meet you, my friend. Nice to meet you. So I want you guys to start thinking of two tickers that you want to dive into for our Smash or Pass segment. In that segment, we will go through those stock charts. You will give me the ticker. We'll dive into the chart, talk about whether it's time to go long or not, or whether we should stop looking at it and pay attention somewhere else. Do not put them in there at this time. Just start thinking of them, get them in the back of your head there so that you know exactly what you want to look at. That's about it. So we're going to first start with the SPY. Mike, if I'm not mistaken, we did clear through our eight rules, correct? We can run through those again, actually, but I believe we did clean out the rest of them, which I'm excited about because I think those are gold. I'm going to go through and pull these up here. So just a quick recap for you, because I think that these are things that everyone needs to know and understand to be successful in any market or with money in general. And honestly, I think some of these speak deeply to the relevance in our lives outside of both money-making assets and relationships and the such. Number one, make money smartly, not quickly. I regret typing it that way, but I did nevertheless. There's no rush. You want to build things that will build you over time. You don't want to flash in the pan. That's the reason that lottery winners go broke. They don't know how to manage it once they have it. What we're trying to focus on here, and what we are accomplishing to focus on here, is that you're building the skills to sustain it while you're building the capability to earn it. You're basically improving your earning power and your keeping power all at once. 2, slow steps lead to strong gains. If you can make these very thoughtful, careful, calculated approach work, you'll be successful in this for the rest of your life, and this will translate into other areas that you have no idea needed that kind of insight or understanding. Big bets bring big losses. This one's pretty self-explanatory and is fundamental to any one trader. You never bet the farm on any one trade because you absolutely will be wrong, and you need to be prepared for that outcome. And the only way you do that is by limiting the amount of risk that you have in any one given trade. 4, simple is better than too much thinking. Again, self-explanatory. People want to draw 800 things on a chart. I know you saw a lot on that SPY chart, but that's just because I was walking you through the different price levels. I've broken this down a million times before, and I'll break it down again. My strategy utilizes 2 horizontal lines on the chart. That's it, and that's all. And I'm able to craft anywhere from 15 to 20 trades per different stock I'm looking at, from drawing 2 lines on a chart. It's that simple. Anyone can do it, especially you. Number 5, discipline and consistency matter. They absolutely matter. If you don't have discipline and consistency, you are never going to last playing this game. If you can't duplicate the results you had yesterday into today, then you're a flash in the pan back to number one, number two. You just had a quick little money grab and you're basically back out in the poorhouse. You don't want that. Build systems and rules that you can follow, disciplined, always. 6, plan for the unknown. As we just said, you're going to lose trades. It's the reality of this whole game that we're all playing. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose relationships. You're going to have ideas about yourself you find out to be not true. If you're always preparing yourself to discover new information, you're never actually wrong. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. If I'm looking at a stock chart and I know it's going to go up because everything is saying it's going to go up, but I'm prepared in case it goes down, then I'm either going to make the maximum amount of money I can make, or my losses and risk are severely diminished, which is a good thing. You want them as small as humanly possible. Number 7, feelings can fool you. This applies to everything in life. If your heart is controlling your investing decisions, you are going to be broke. Your heart should guide your life, but it needs to be in sync with your head. As someone very wise once told me, that in order to take something to that next level where we truly deeply internalize it, things or ideas we believe need to make that 3-foot drop from your head to your heart, from knowing to belief. But notice that it starts at the head. If logic and reason are guiding some of these decisions and moving you forward, then you can allow that heart to continue to burn the fire of the passion that will continue to improve those skills that you build in the mind, the disciplines and whatnot. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Is there one more? Yeah. Number 8, winning means keeping. If you're making money in your trades, that means you need to keep it. If you're good at this, you're going to be great at this for the long haul. You are going to install an ATM into your living room and you are going to be extremely wealthy. There are people that are good at winning, but they are not good at keeping. Those people don't last in this market. Again, back to flash in the pan, but what have you done for me lately? Every time you look at your portfolio, that should be the one thing on your mind. What have you done for me lately? Because that matters more than anything else. And you want that what have you done for me to be a very positive one that speaks to the consistency and discipline you've built through having a systematic and organized approach to trading. Again, if you're just planning to, you see a lot of the gym is a good example, right? You go work out for a week and then you just quit. And you assume that working out for that week is going to set you up for the rest of your life. It's not how it works. Consistency matters, and you need discipline to be consistent. And more importantly, you need a program to follow. If you're just going to the gym and like I do a little bit of legs one day and I do a little arms the other day, and there's no focus, there's no intent, you're just going to wander around aimlessly and you're going to waste your time. What you're saying is, hey, you don't matter. Your time doesn't matter. I don't care about you. I'm not going to be thoughtful about your time or anything else. I'm just going to waste your time just meandering around this gym with no real goal in mind. So back to the chart and make it a little bigger. So with that said, those are 8 things that I think everyone should internalize. If you're not in the group, make sure you join. It's tons of just absolute gold in that group. It's all free all the time. I put the link right there. You just type that in your browser or on your phone. You could just search Penny Boys on Facebook and you'll find it. There's some gold nuggets in there, but those 8 truths are written out in there. I'll say it one more time before we dive into the SPY chart. If you're new, please type new in the chat. We got some free stuff we're going to get you plugged in with. We got our watch list, absolutely phenomenal. All the hot options trades. It breaks down the S&P, the Dow, gives you your market readout for the week. Every week, delivered every Sunday. It's beautiful. We're also going to post the create your free account. Again, no payment info needed. That's how you get access to that watch list. Everything else, just go to pbalerts.com. But again, if you're new, drop new in the chat. We're going to be giving away some free stuff, hook you up with some free memberships. We have some wonderful tools that you can use to become extremely profitable, but we also have the best community on earth. Can I get a whoop whoop, baby? Sound off if you're in the community. To me, that's the part I'm most proud of, and I think that's where the most value is, but that's just me. So, as always, we're starting off with the SPY, the S&P 500. We're going to get rid of this here. Okay, make this a little bigger. So you can see a lot going on in this chart. Let's make it a little simpler for you. We're looking at the daily view. Get this a little bigger. There we go. Looking at daily view. And what we talked about last week were our price targets going forward. We talked about this level right here in the middle, pretty much right where we traded at today, being our pivot point where we either go up or we go down from here. We never hang around in the middle. It doesn't often happen that way. The market wants a direction. And so those two levels that we identified were 450 and 461. We talked about a breakout over 456.90, so just about 457 would likely yield a move to 461. We talked about those options about 2.5 to 3 weeks out. The contract specifically targeting 461, and then on the put side, we were targeting 450. I think both of those trades are still validated. I would, however, move the expiration out slightly. We will dive into the options chain here in just a second to look at those, what in contract specifically I'm mentioning, so that you guys have a good idea of what to look for on the SPY. That pulled up. So if we are looking for some options trades here on the SPY, once again, we want to go at least 2 weeks out. So that would now put us around December 11th. We're going to look at the liquidity here to see if there's anything here to zero open interest. No, thanks. Let's go 18 days out, December 15th. I like this a little more. Okay. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. Let's go ahead and pop that in there on that watch list. So again, we're targeting 461. I do like this 461 call until we breach that. Yeah, until we breach this though. So keep in mind, I'm going to detail the levels that I think that these would be good at, and I want to make sure that you guys understand that. If you don't understand or you're new to options, we have a free 100-hour plus course that you need to take that first. Jeremy, nice to meet you, my friend. You know what? Let's do it. I know the Black Friday stuff ended. Hey, Nikki. So Roy, Jeremy, Ray, sorry, Jeremy, anybody new? We're gonna hook you up. We'll reopen the Black Friday stuff for you, so you can get on in there and take into account all the alerts and everything else. So we have a 100-hour free education course. I would start with that. Join the Discord. You could do that through creating your free account, and you'll get the link in there. If you don't understand options, please watch that first. Go through that class first. Understand what you're doing. You can lose insurmountable amounts of cash if you don't know how to do this. And some of the things I'm going to talk about are slightly above what I'd consider the beginner level. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that. Still watch, because the technical analysis aspect of literally drawing horizontal lines and creating trades is very simple. You can understand that. But when we get into the specific options, trades, and contracts, I would be very mindful of that. So we talked about those levels there. We're going to first shoot for the breakout over 456.90. That's what we're most primed to see from this point forward. So we're going to flip back over to the options chain here, and we are looking at that the bullish. I'm liking 450 is that support that we would likely come down to test. You can see that the buyers got shredded here, and then we pushed down even lower. But I do think 450 is pretty reasonable and would allow for a nice bit of profit on the table for us there. So if we're looking at puts, 450, good delta. Open interest is great. Implied volatility very low. Add that to the watch list too. We'd be looking again for that December 15th. Gives about 18 days, give or take, on that options contract. Those would be our two. Now we are only looking on the put side. Let's go down to like the hourly, for example. We are only looking at diving in on the put side if we cannot hold and sustain right about here. We saw it strength at about 454 and change. So if the buyers get overwhelmed here at about 454 and we break down, that's when I would be entering that position for the 450 puts. And we should see downside to about 451. Either way, great profit on that contract. It should be a phenomenal day trade. You can make a nice bit of money in a short period of time. And I think that would pay off. Now on the bull side, again, that's our more likely scenario that we hold here. We break above 456.90 and we trade that up to 461, because we should see another strong impulse up if we do get that break up. Again, like we saw right here, we're kind of betting that we're going to see the same strong move to 459 or so. Sell that on the way up. Again, you'd make a nice bit of change, even if it moves a couple bucks, 20, 30%. Remember, if you're day trading, don't expect more than that. 20, 30% is phenomenal. 5% is phenomenal when it comes to day trading. 456 calls expiring tomorrow. So here's the problem. Holding those overnight, you just got slayed by theta. So first and foremost, definitely jump in, take advantage of the option stuff we do. We walk through why 0DTE is something you never want to hold, or even less than a week till expiry. You don't want to hold unless you're deep in the money or you're planning on exercise. And here's why. So if we go look 456 calls for tomorrow. Oh, unless you're asking if I think you're okay. I think that that's going to be rough. I mean, we can go ahead and look these up. So 456 calls. So your theta right there is 0.3. So this is just getting shelled. Wait, let me just make sure you said 456 calls. Yeah, so you're just out of the money, but that delta's absolutely firing. That's good. Oh, puts. Sorry. That didn't make any sense to me. I was like, that's in the money delta. So these are down to 35 cents. So yeah, that delta is so it's the value of that contract is diminishing. This number is greater than its ability to move, right? So like if we get a huge rip into the money, yeah, you might come back there. But the problem here is that this contract is just been getting shelled due to sideways price action. So anytime you're trading near expiry options like that are expiring very soon, that theta or time decay is just rapidly decreasing the value. Even if the setup is good and it looks like it's going to go to 456, that contract's value has diminished significantly. So holding on to those is never the best move because you're going to lose a lot of money very quickly. That's something you day trade if you have that skill level and expertise. I would day trade those, but I would not hold those overnight in any capacity. So join the group. We'll get you squared away. We had a lot of GME, AMC traders that lost a lot of money that are making a lot of money now because they followed a very simple system that just allows you to be profitable by actually creating a systemic approach. So that's what we're looking at on the S&P, bull and bear. I think if you follow those to the T, you will be good and good. We're going to flip over to Coinbase here because we had an absolutely historic run here from 70 bucks. Buying off the lows here, that was a great opportunity. Still holding a chunk of this in my long-term portfolio. Let's go to the weekly. Huge breakout here on this chart after, really an abysmal showing. Pushing up to the mid 400s. Kathy Woods buying it by the boatload and then eventually selling off down to as low as 34 bucks. We're up about 400% from that price. Buyers came in, very sustained volume here. They shelled off a little bit. Stocks Buddy says, Stocks Buddy's a bull, support at 70. Go. I think our next target here on Coinbase is very realistic that we're going to retest this range. So I'd be looking for this as long as it stays above 113. I'd be looking for this. So over 113, I'd be looking to see 150 again on Coinbase. I think that's a very realistic target, and I think that it's very likely to happen. I just realized you guys can't even see my chart. You've been looking at the options chain. So here we're looking at Coinbase here. Again, Stocks Buddy loves it. Signaled to buy there. If you don't have Stocks Buddy, you missed. So buy at 53, and this went to 114. There's a 100% runner. Secondary entry, so we're going to disregard. And then the buy at 35. This one as high as 87. There's another 100% runner. This one was a buy at 58, came down below that to about 49, so 10% potential loss, but then it ran to 113, 100% run from there. The bear case, I would argue that was take profit was given at 75, so short at 84, $10. And then bull case again, given it right here at the 85, and we're already up 120, so almost 50%. A little trick here if you guys are using Stocks Buddy. I love the monthly view. I use this more than anything else. The monthly view is astounding. They give you a very strong signal at 73. Shows you the support. It'll show you when to take profit. To me, it's like the monthly it's the best of the best. This indicator crushes. I do believe the Black Friday thing's still open. If someone wants to drop the link in here, if you guys don't have access to this yet, do it while it's on Black Friday sale because this is stupid. And we also, I'm proud, we actually discounted significantly. I don't know if anybody saw the news with like Target and stuff. People were finding the old sale signs hidden behind the Black Friday deals. They were fake Black Friday deals. All of our stuff is legitimate Black Friday deal. It is significantly reduced. And it will go right back up to its original price after Black Friday. So get it while it's hot, get it while it's cheap. But Coinbase, great setup here. I mean, you can't argue with the buy here and the 70s. I mean, just absolute banger. This thing's up very green from here. I think that's a strong hold. Should it continue over support there? I really like this one personally. Now flipping over to NVIDIA. Also, for those of you that didn't know, bull signal on NVIDIA for Stocks Buddy was given at 146, 147. Our options trade was up over 2,000% from this buy signal. Monthly still a buy, support at 391. Let's go to the weekly though and take a look. Gave another bull signal, 454, went up for 50 bucks, 10%. Still holding up. Support, same. Well, support's 388 there. So a big point of big point of contest for NVIDIA is right here, 500 bucks. Also just it's a mental element here. I mean, buyers are scared to buy this anymore because it's run so much. Sellers are kind of scared to take profit because they don't know how far it's going to go. This is what we consider a blue sky breakout, meaning we found new highs that have never been reached before on this chart. So we really have no comprehension of how far it can go. My estimation is about 570. That's what I'd love to see in the most significant bull case, but we're really struggling with 500. We have to see 500 get broken before we head to 574. If we don't, then I think we're very likely to come right back around 412. We're going to test these lows, test these bottoms right here, and then see what happens from there. That's on the weekly chart. So the Twisted Sister AMD, again, stocks buddy for the win. Alert at 95. I gave the buy signal on the breakout over 100. Those options contracts went up 200%. The equity trade is up 20%. So that was a great trade. If you're still holding AMD, we crushed that one. If you don't have access to the alerts, get it below that link you see right below me. We have resistance pretty significant here, pressing up to about 160 if we date it out. But I would say realistically, we're looking at about 127, 130 being a pretty significant resistance point that I really want to see broken before we really vest anymore into the long positions. Again, we got in early. We're still holding. This was very strong, and we made a lot of money on this one, and I think we're going to continue to. But I'm not buying this in no man's land because we either continue to boom or we come down to test support. Either way. We really need to see that happen before we make a decision. And on to one more that I absolutely love, that I absolutely crushed. Is before I had stocks, buddies. I'm going to give myself all the credit. But Shopify. Oh, Shopify was an absolute banger. We alerted this in the Discord at 30 bucks a share, so that must have been right around here. Yep, October. We alerted this as buy at 30 bucks, but our price target was 60, so we were looking to double our money and our fun. We did. Still holding strong here. Shopify has reclaimed the previous trend line that it was on, and it is setting up and poised, I think, to reclaim $100. I think that's kind of where we're headed. Long-term targets could easily see 130. Again, very strong brand. I think very strong business model. I think the Shopify is here to stay. I'm long Shopify. I have equity in my Roth and I have equities in my short-term trading account. This is something I'm going to hold on to for a while. I think there's a lot of appreciation ahead. I'm also holding our leaps that are up about 230%, our long-term options here on Shopify. We bought it at $3.70. It's already up to $12, $15 plus. So crushed it. So that's Shopify. I really like that one. All right, 424. I got one more I wanted to look at. Let me pull up this. Pull up the screener here. I looked at one earlier I really liked. Where's that bottom feeder setup I was looking at? Wow, CRISPR Therapeutics has been crazy. Oh, wow, we crushed Monday.com. I don't know if anyone remembers, we were talking about that breakout over 150. That thing's up to 179. That's phenomenal. Seen a lot of breakouts here. Wow, Gap. Everything's moving to the upside. Oh, there it is. Yep. It's a small cap, and I think it's very interesting. TPST is at Tempest Therapeutics. Let's put it on the daily. And in specific reference to this one, all I'm talking about here is I think that this is a great trade opportunity. I do not think that this is a buy and hold. I'm not talking about the fundamentals of the company, the roadmap. I don't know anything about it. I just know that that little cup and handle trade setup looks quite delightful. So you can see here, huge push up, came down, and now we're getting that handle. So we're going to be watching this area right here, anywhere from about 330 up to about 350 as a buy there with a tight stop below 330s. swing position trade with a very, very tight stop loss. Do not take this without a stop, and set your sell orders. Look for 5, 10, 15%. I think this will just fill on the way up, because the way it's going right now, it looks like we're going to see a nice little cup and handle form completely here. Again, remember, you've got your cup and then you got your handle, and then usually you see a nice move up from there. And I think realistically we could retest. You look at where the buyers tested before, I would say 450 would be realistic. 430 to 450 max upside, I would say, is what I would look at on this trade. But I think this is a great small cap setup. Low volume, so when it moves, it's going to go. But I think this is a great small cap setup to keep an eye on. I don't have the ticker on the chart. I suck. Sorry about that. So ticker on this one is TPST. Again, we'd be looking at this for an equity swing / breakout trade. I want to see a little bit of support here. Again, holding above $3.30. If it breaks below, kill it. It's done. I think this would be a pretty smart buy between 330, 350. Obviously, buying as close to 330 as possible, and then trade the upside. Set your orders automatically. Make sure you have your stop loss set, because if we violate 330 on the lows, we're going to go back to nothingness. This is worthless, so don't lose your money. But you can get entry. If you can get entry 335, 340, you could take a nice 3% risk on this. So basically, if your stop loss below 330, you set your risk, you'd be about negative 3 to 5% max on the trade, with upside of 15 to 20%. So I think it could be a pretty quality trade setup. And this looks to be an area where we've seen a little upside from before, 350s to 420. So I think it's very realistic to think we'll see that after, I'm assuming, a number of reverse splits. Again, I'm not talking fundamentals here. We're talking nice technical trade breakout on this chart. It's nothing you buy and hold. It's simply trading this little cup and handle breakout, which is a pretty standard pattern for most of you. I'm sure you guys know that. Most of you know that that's a pretty standard pattern when it comes to trading. So that's my small cap stock pick of the week that I do think has a very, very interesting setup. I can go back in the screener and see if anything else really caught my eye. Not seeing much. I did build a new screener, though, I gotta say. This thing is pretty astounding. It is absolutely crushed for large cap options. It is a monster. If you use it over 2 to 3 day increments, like Amazon 3%, AMD 4%, and this, again, you're trading options. The equity only moved 2-3%, but as far as options are concerned, think of it as a 10x that you should absolutely see upside on. This thing is absolutely crushed. So let's look at what it populated. It works best in like the 2-day view. Let's go to today, though. So Tesla was signaled again. Let's take a quick look at that. So Tesla bulls are saying let's stay above 231. I couldn't agree more. What I want to see on Tesla is what everyone wants to see on Tesla. As you can see, we went to 246 off the top of that little candle guy there. We're on the daily. Let's go to the weekly. So we went to 246, which I would still argue was sell side volume, right? What we need to see is strength at 250 and above. As you can see in the past, whenever buyers come in at 250 and above, we go upside. So what we need to see for Tesla is this range right here get filled on up. We need to see buyers come in off support, break resistance right here, and take us above 240s, 250s, where we can consolidate a little bit before we inevitably test 278. So basically our first real hurdle here is this 240s. We want to break above here. As you can see, that's where the support consolidated here before we boomed, right? Then our next one is going to be where we sold off in the past, which is about 268, give or take. I would say I would look at more like 266. As you can see, like the buyers got shredded here from 266 on up. Make sure you guys can see the chart. Okay. Buyers got shredded from 266 on up 2 different times. And then right here, we gapped down and it was very weak. We got a huge gap here all the way to 276. So the upside's here. All we need to see is for this little consolidation. Imagine it's just hopping upstairs, right? We need to hop onto this stair, hold above 246, walk for a while, then hop onto this stair, 266, then hop onto this stair, and so on and so on. So once we get that move up and we start to see where we're at with 250 or so, I think that we are going to have a nice trade we can concoct there and make a nice bit of money. I think Tesla's one that we will be swinging some options on, all of which will be posted in the Discord for those of you that have access to the premium alerts. If you don't have access, again, create your free account below and you can get the info. Either way, you get the free account, the free alerts, and the free watch list. So that about wraps it up for the charts that I wanted to cover. Let's play a little smash or pass here. As I told you in the beginning, if you guys have a ticker you want to look at, now is the time to drop it. The only thing I ask is that you only drop one at a time per message. Feel free to drop 2 or 3. All I ask is that they're in individual messages so I can put them up on the screen for you guys, for everyone to see so that they can follow along. So if you guys have one, drop it now. Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the comments. Let's take a quick look. Let's dive into those charts for you. Any stock you want, just drop it in the chat. I will be diving in. We'll look at the chart. We're doing a quick 30-second. Is it a buy or is it a sell? And that's it, and that's all. And we're moving on, because if you waste more time than that and the chart doesn't look good, then why bother? So I'm going to give you guys 1 second to drop those tickers in the chat. Again, only one per message, but feel free to drop 2 or 3. And I'll start going through them one by one, and we'll wrap this up. So I'm going to go through all those charts for you guys. Take a quick second, take a little drink of water, and I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds, drop those tickers, and let's get at it. All right. So we're going to start here with the we got Z-scaler. What's this? Very interesting. So Walter PBK. I'm James Bond, baby. That was a hell of a gun. Looks like Stocks Buddy gave you a bunch of trades on this. I bet this monthly is berserk. My God. This machine. Signal buy at 56. This thing went to 374. Monthly chart, what I tell you, this indicator plus the monthly chart is a gold mine. Can someone post a Black Friday link? If anybody hasn't gotten it yet, dude, just get it. This is stupid how quality this is. Anyway, so we got pretty strong upside here. Again, Stocks Buddy indicates support 131. I would agree, but the one level I would watch is right here, where sellers were exhausted in the past, 149. So I'd say if you're in this one, I'd say long above 150. Other than that, I would get the hell out. Looks like you had a pretty strong bear case right here, and that's really going to be the point of contention as we come up to test this area again. Every time it tests this area, it either struggles and breaks through or it breaks down. So I would say that there's a firm stop there. If you can't break 200, then it's not worth your time. So that's what I have to say about that. I'm going to give you a conditional smash. I want you to watch it at 200. You got upside, but I wouldn't say you have a ton. And that's like if you're already holding it, I would say. If you're not, this is not a buy. It's not a buy area. The Sergeant Roblox. This is one of my big picks. If you guys were in the Discord, this is one that I loved buying at 25, 26 bucks. Stocks Buddy still says bearish on the monthly. Let's see if the weekly or daily has turned over. Bearish on the daily. Let's see what the weekly has to say. So bull case 28. We're trading at 39. So that's a nice game. I like the consolidation here. My only concern would be dead cat bounce. You need to watch this, but this is also one, as I told you, my range strategy offered you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different trades since May of 22. So this offered you, just using 2 horizontal lines. It's so simple as this. Buy at 26, sell at 45, pretty much double your money, damn near 75% return on one trade over the span of like a month or two. and then go short here, buy back here, long, sell. So buy, sell, short, cover, buy, sell, short, cover, buy, sell, short, cover. You're starting to get the gist here. Does all the work's been done. All you got to do is press the button like a little monkey and execute the trade. Roblox is in no man's land. I do like it because I'm biased, because I just like it. And I think they've created an e-commerce economy, if you will, within their platform. And I think they've done a great job at leveraging and taking advantage of small children, which I don't agree with ethically, but from a business standpoint, children are a money farm, and a lot of these companies take advantage of that. I don't agree with a lot of their practices, but from a fundamental standpoint of making money, they do a good job at it. And I think that the fact that they've integrated AI, they've built their own communities within a community, it bodes well for this in the long term. You see pretty significant buying right there coming in Monday, November 6th. So as much as it pains me to say, because I definitely don't like them as a company, I think it's a good trade opportunity. So I'm gonna have to say Roblox is tasty. That's what I have to say about that. So basically, if you're holding here, you want to see 40 plus, so you could see 45. Above 45, this thing could rip to the mid 60s. So I think it's definitely a smash. Just watch your ass. That's all. Michael Reams, Papal. We've done this one a lot. I feel like I've married this chart. So again, still contrition, or still attrition to the downside. Look at just simple trend tells you not happening yet. But what I do like is that you're starting to see a little more consolidation there. So this thing has followed this to the T. Boom, 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 boom. What needs to happen is clearly that breakout 58. But if you go to the monthly, you could see that the real test is 76. So we were talking about the breakout over the mid 70s for this one. And I still think that's the move. If you look at this on a larger time frame like we are on the monthly, you can see that there's a pretty significant volume swell right around $70. So if buyers come in here and overwhelm, then that's where your upside lies to 100, 130, 140 plus. Biggest head and shoulders of all time, up to 300 off the highs. But our next level to fall to is about the mid 40s. So I would say this is definitely going to be a hard pass until it reclaims some dignity. So I feel about PayPal at this moment. Love the idea, love the company, but it's just not happening when you look at the chart. It's just not happening now. Devastator, how you living, baby? FUV. RC Moto. Ooh. All right, I love you, buddy, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, just on the fact that this is reverse split 8,000 times. Hard pass. This is one, unfortunately, my friend, I would just stay as far away from as possible. This is tire slash, window smash, and all you did was text a delivery driver. That's the kind of crazy you're inviting in with something like this, in my opinion. For what it's worth. All right, let's keep going. Dun, dun, dun. Ray, my new friend. Nice to meet you. You got a very fancy sounding name. Are you French? Garcia? Garceau? Is that French? So as we were talking about a little bit earlier, this one was a no-brainer. For those of you with access to the premium alerts, we nailed this one. Stocks Buddy gave the buy on the monthly at like 78. I didn't trade that. I was looking at the breakout of 100 on the daily. That's the trade we took. We took this breakout right here. I'll highlight it for you. This is the trade we alerted, the breakout over 100. It's ran to 133, came back down. We traded it again, breakout over 100. We're up at 124, another 24%. So in May, we took 30%, and now we're taking another 20%. We alerted an options trade right here that ran about I want to say it ran about 300%. That was my trade that I posted in there. Huge win. I think AMD is extremely bullish. The only consideration the only thing I would say to keep in consideration that spooks me is that it's NVIDIA's little stepbrother, right? It's not NVIDIA. And right now, NVIDIA is the behemoth that is basically making or breaking our market. Now, the problem here is that no one really knows if AMD is going to get that supplemental movement as a result of, or is AMD well positioned in getting that supplemental movement, or getting that movement not because it's supplemental, but because they've earned it. So is there opportunity to take market share? Is the business itself positioned well to thrive and succeed? Or are we just simply seeing NVIDIA craze get poured into something else? So I think that's something that everyone should kind of do their own research to consider. I personally think that it's more of a sympathy than it is of its own individual merits. However, it was a great trade on the breakout of 100. I do not like it here. I'm not buying in no man's land. I never have and I never will. I don't want to be caught with my pants down on this trade when we come back to test support in the mid 100s. That would be zone number 1 that you can see right here. Zone number 2 would be this longer term support where we would break through and we would test down to the hundreds again where we broke out initially. And that to me would be a pretty significant buying opportunity for this long term. Again, this one loves to consolidate between 75 and 100. So when it's above 100, we know it's heading to the upside, at least in the short term, which is why we took that trade. And I think it was a great trade overall. So I love that one. But unfortunately, right now, I'm going to say that this one is not a smash at the moment, only because we've already smashed. I think the real trade here was as discussed. So I'm not saying there's no future, but again, we're talking more short to medium term stuff here rather than like, hey, long term buy and hold for 15 years. What do you think? AMD, 5-10% difference is irrelevant at that point if you're holding for 10, 15 years, which it's a company that I personally do. Can't tell you what to do because I'm not an advisor, but I can tell you that I do own some AMD. I own a lot more NVIDIA than AMD, and it's appreciated significantly. And I don't want to be overexposed in any one cloud or chip provider because I feel like that business is going to continue to be so cutthroat, and those verticals are just going to continue to expand to the degree that like the amount of work it takes to build something like that has diminished significantly. I'm not saying that some company can just slide in and take NVIDIA's market share, but what I am saying is that all this cloud infrastructure and just access to information in general gives people a lot quicker startup time. So spinning up competitors to companies like this is not impossible. Is it probable? No. But trade tensions with China could significantly impact all of this business. So you don't want to be too exposed to chips in general, tech in general. You also don't want to be too exposed to any one provider of services or products in that industry because of that risk. So again, if the U.S. can't play nice with China, we're going to see a more difficult market than if we said, you know what, open the gates, let's do it. Let's do some business together. Let's make some money together. Everyone can be happy. Let's build supercomputers. Okay, NVIDIA's going to $1,000. If we talked about something like that, let's build a collective world supercomputer. Boom, NVIDIA's the best position to provide everything for that and own that project. So unless stuff like that occurs, it's just those are the thoughts that go around in my head that I like to consider in all these trades. DOCN, let's take a peek. Okay, DigitalOcean Holdings. Nope. Let's take a quick look at this. Okay, so IPO March 21. New low discovered here, 2074. We are about 100% from the IPO price. This thing has dropped significantly, has been chopped in half. That's going to be difficult to point to that. So here's what I would watch on this one. So you got two options to downside. Support holds 24.5. Great. Then you've got a range and you can trade this. Doesn't, you're going down to 21, and that's a new low. So keep in mind, anytime you're looking at an overall trend, this is the weekly chart. As we found that high, right? This was low number 1. Then this was low number 2. Then we didn't test a new low, but then we did. This was low number 3. Then we came up again, so we're going back to the upside until we saw low number 4. So Anytime you get a new relative low, expect more downside until you get a confirmation that it's going to go to the upside. So this one, for example, you got relative low number 2, came to 35. You had a nice trade, nice 50% trade because you got that confirmation on the weekly. That's great. Candle closed, inverted hammer, signals reversal in some cases, but then to the upside, inverted hammer typically means we're going shredding back down to nothing. Huge sell-off on big volume, and now volume's starting to pick back up right here. That's a good sign. And typically, I would like to say there's between 1 and 4 moves that we like to see anyway before we hit 35. But I would say that right now we're still in no man's land above 35. This one's going to be a strong smash, strong buy because you're upside then. I think he's looking like more like 47 to trade it on the breakout. I think that looks a lot more appetizing to me than a buy right here in the middle of nowhere when we've just found a new low. So that's where I'm at with this one. Nikki, are you still in here? Nicole? And for anybody that wants more info on both the alerts and the indicator that was discussed, you could just shoot an email over to this email right here, and we'll email you back with all that info. I know a few people DM me while I was on the stream asking about the Black Friday thing on Stocks Buddy. So if you're new and you don't have access to us in the Discord, shoot an email to that email, and we'll get you taken care of. If you guys are in the Discord already, just ask me on there, as some of you have. I can just get you the link to the Black Friday deal. And don't forget the Stocks Buddy thing, you can make money every month. Every referral you get, we basically split the profit with you pretty significantly. It's a nice fat profit share. My goal was to spread the wealth. As people use it and you enrich their lives, you also get paid for them using it. My goal is that you use it to trade, you make money, you get your friends involved, they use it to trade, they make money. You pay less, you get paid some, you use it to make trades, you make some, they're making money, everybody wins. Happy as a clam. All right, so we got a couple more. Yeah, let's nail SoFi. I like what's going on here a little bit. I like it a little bit. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. So this is also another chart where it's been shredded since IPO, $10, cut in half. Where do we go from here? I'll say this. So we've got, let's go back to this. We got low number 1, if we're going to start from this relative point, right? Now we're climbing higher. Now we're climbing higher. That's a good sign, right? You want to see continuation of the upside. Now we don't want to see this low violate, and we don't want to see this come lower than like $5. If we can get some volume in here, which we saw right here, okay? We're not seeing the volume anymore. That's the problem. We saw it here. We're not seeing it here. Until we do, a company like this is absolutely screwed. I also know what their liquidity or financing situation looks like right now. So I'd say this definitely would require a little anything in the financials right now. Do a deeper dive into the solvency of the business as a whole, just because of the cash crunch that inflation has caused. So definitely do your research there, because I think that's essential to any of these. But so we've talked about this point right here as being very critical. This $10.30. To me, that's a pivot point for this chart to turn over. You can see that it went as high as mid-20s in the past. If we want to see that again, we got to see this over 1032. I'm not loving it here above 676. I would say that this is a great opportunity to buy and set a tight stop. I would say like no more than 10% risk here. This actually it's not a bad trade. I might actually dial in on this. You know what, Sergeant? I love you. Keep an eye on the alerts channel. I'm gonna get in on this one. I think this is I think this might be a good. This might be a good setup. We can keep a very tight risk profile here, which means our losses will be very, very insignificant. But the upside is great. Upside is north of 30%, with downside of not even 10%. So I don't mind that. I'll risk 100 to make 3. So and then obviously the potential of over 1030 is a huge upside. So the redeeming thing here is that there's been rather significant volume down in this range. So we've got a range 545 to 853. This has got to break that range, but either we risk 50 to make $1.50, but I think this one is worth looking at. So I'm weirdly gonna actually I'm actually going to give this one something I didn't think I would. A little bit of smashy. That's a weird ticker. Bleg. Branded Legacy. Oh, was the OTC? Yeah, I'm going to say right now, no thanks, pass. This company just looks like trash. You can see they've shredded their. Look at that. Oh my god. Oh my god, look what they've done. Oh my god. Down to 3 cents. So they're just raising money, making stupid money, and then down to literally zero. So before it split, this was trading at 801,000 a share off the height, down to 3 cents. That's brutal, man. But I would stay away from a penny pump OTC like this, just between you and I. SLV. Are you talking about the Canadian or this? Stigmate, you talking about Canadian silver dollar resources? Yeah, Ray. So AI definitely cooled off. I think a lot of the marketers picked up on that trend and started pushing AI stocks. Got companies that had anything AI started just screaming it across the globe. I think we've definitely missed we crushed that the NVIDIA trade, for example. I think you should join the community. That's where you're going to get the value. So again, we were buying NVIDIA. If you look back, here's December 22. We were buying this around 140, 150 right before the AI boom really happened because they're the best position. Like, who's going to capitalize more than an actually reputable company that is actually deep into every element of AI and will be scaling into the future? So we placed our bets there because that's, to me, the most practical, probable opportunity to make money. There are a few others. We did take some nice upside on C3 AI, more of a data broker than anything else. But again, we traded this from the 15, 16s. This went up to 45. Huge trade. So I think if you join the Discord, my friend, you'll definitely create the free account on the website. You'll get all the free stuff. But I think that'll definitely kind of give you insight into a lot of these. We follow these in and out. I mean, we captured Meta. I think our Rest and Retire program, I think, is also Black Friday. I got to give Lee the credit. He was buying this at like 105, 110 right here, and this thing ripped 200% on a long-term growth stock. I mean, that's unfathomable. So we're always finding the trades, my friend. We post about it, give our in-depth research, our analysis, what we expect coming, our entry price targets, where we're going to cut bait, the whole deal. UPST. All right, we're knock this one out. Upst. So this is one that I've been following pretty closely. I did have that trade alert out there. I believe that did get stopped out. We were wanting to see this consolidation to occur above. I mean, we were looking to see this consolidation occur above 29. That was the goal. Huge sell off here, significant volume. We did find a little bit of bottom here at 20, which perfectly correlates to the top of the range here. What we need to see is this monthly candle to flip green, and we need this support to hold here. Oh, Stocks Buddy nailed this one. $13 to 67. What? That's a 500% courtesy of Stocks Buddy, I guess. Anyway, I'm watching this one over 21. For me, it's a smash. As long as we can stay up here, firm, tight stop, volumes coming in on the monthly, we look good. If you go to the daily, it looks a little bearish, but we are seeing some buyers come in here, as you can see right here, and we are getting some better volume than we've seen in the past. So as you look, you're getting the uptick. If tech roars, this thing's going to go. So yeah, that's it. And that's all. I love y'all. Make sure you follow that link at the bottom. It's all the free stuff, all the good stuff. Reach out to that email. Oh, we need to give something away. All right, let's play a quick game. Let's give away a t-shirt. Let's get somebody hooked up with some swag. Huh. What? Let's see if anybody can guess. What was the first stock that I remember actively researching and buying? I'll give you a hint. It's a 3-letter ticker, 3 letters. It is a company in industrials, and I would consider it a very reputable large cap company. Stock price north of $100 a share. Drop in the comments. Ready, go. Let's see who guesses it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's see who guesses it. Oh, right as I typed the clue, the sergeant wins. It was Caterpillar. I just remember reading into the company and like, this is like, I want to say, what was this, 2016, 2017? And I was just like, man, this is right when I got interested. So it was like 2016, 2017. They saw some downside. So 75 to $100. I was like, this just seems like a no-brainer. Just given the positioning of the industry at the time. And I think, as I recall, earnings were starting to go negative relative to the past performances, but they were projected to boom for 2 or 3 quarters and then have some downside. And I think when they really saw the upside, where's the other earnings deals? Oh, they're hidden behind there. When they really saw the upside, so that was 2020. They got that COVID money, and then they started to really see some upside here, 2023. So it was a long-term deal, but you crushed it, my friend. So Nikki, that's the guy. Hook that sweet gentleman up. Good guess. And as always, if you guys have any other stocks you want to look at, questions you have, or you have questions about the indicator or lifetime, remember we still got like 9 spots left for the lifetime. I want to see. Let me go look. I think we have 9 spots left. I just funded also that the crypto fund that we've been working on. I just funded the account for our end of it, so we are moving the needle there. Yeah, we have 9 spots left for lifetime, and then that's going to be closed forever on the white label access and all the free master classes. All of that ends. These last 9 people get that for free, and that's it. And then they're going for like $2,500 pop, baby. Yeah. Check it out. Open a sport ticket. If you need help, just ask. We're here to serve you. I love y'all. Stay blessed now. Bye-bye.